Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the PGS Esports Realistic. We return then for another round of this, well, fairly new season to be fair, but how fast is it going then, everybody? The fifth round of the season we come to now, and we are here in Zandvoort for it. How exciting is that, Zandvoort? What a great track it is. But it's, thank God it is not reverse Zandvoort, because that seems to be a bit of a tricky one. But going into this one then, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming right off the back of a lead dog win for Raw Dog Racing. Of course, bagging 25 points that evening. Arctic Ryan came in second place last week in the United States for Arctic Lightning F1, of course. 13 seconds behind Lead Dog, who stormed the win. And we were, expecting that, wasn't we? We really was. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Lead Dog won the previous round, and the championship shaping up to be quite a nice one already, only after 4 rounds. Of course, Lead Dog is your championship leader then at the moment for the Raw Dog Racing, 92 points, and Arctic Ryan is behind on 66. So the gap, 26 points then between 1 and 2. Third is Papa Rim, 4 Hawkeye then, ladies and gentlemen. 5 is Luke Bailey, 6 Flavor, 7 Ned Zone, 8 J Pinto, 9 Dave the Scrub, and 10 is the Judge, who rounds off the top 10 on the Drivers' Championship. Here tonight then, we have 13 drivers joining us, which of course isn't the most attendance we've seen here in PGS, but equally it is a decent number. But we know the drivers here always put on a show, and they are going to do that tonight for us then, ladies and gentlemen, as we have 15 minutes of your qualifying session left. And it's hardly even got started, has it? Tiger B in the P1 position right now, but of course nobody has set a time, so nobody is really in any official positions just yet. Waiting for the first times to be put on the board, as M-Bulk is going to be that first driver to do so at the minute, I believe. Yeah, he's looking like that. M-Bulk in second place then, who is heading all the way through the end of the first sector, looking for a decent time. It is purple, of course, as he's the first man to do so, but we'll find out later on if he's actually on for a decent lap or not, ladies and gentlemen. A bit iffy there on the fronts. It's looking like a decent time so far then for Mr. Embalt then, ladies and gentlemen. Third place, Ekindinos with a 1:09.860. Kick starts the afternoon off. That's fairly decent then for him to start it off today. Embalt is going to head round then up towards the line. He spins around. His wheel comes off the car completely. Embalt retires from qualifying, everybody. Wow, I've not seen that happen in a long time. And M-Bulk is out of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Who was expecting that? I definitely was not. Cannot believe it. I absolutely cannot believe that. M-Bulk out of qualifying in the early stages, ladies and gentlemen. But it has been a nice start to qualifying, apart from that with M-Bulk, of course. As J Pinto dives out of the way there. We've got 5 times on the board at the moment, with Ready Player F1 being at the back. The 13 minutes of qualifying with Sekindinos, your fastest man, and he dips into the pit lane, feeling quite confident with that one around that he's done. He's got about a 2-second gap then to Nedzo racing behind in second place, who is not improving this go around, but he could be going into the pit lane. That might explain it. Luke Bailey goes into the pit lane then. Arctic Ryan is making his way round and towards the end of Sector 2. He's currently sat in 5th position. Ready Player F1 is sat in 6th. They're the only drivers to put times on the board so far. J Pinto should be the next man to do so as he heads around the final corner and storms it down towards the line. What has this man got in store for us today then? We shall find out. Turn 1 he goes into then, and he is on the charge this evening. J Pinto GT3 looking for a decent time this afternoon. His first time of the day, braking a little bit there, heading over the top bump and through the hairpin. He goes the bank turn, taking it quite nicely as he continues through to the end of Sector 1. And it is, ladies and gentlemen, a purple first sector for J Pinto. It's looking strong at this early stage in the lap. Heading round the right-hand side, the car sticking to the floor, missing the apex a bit there, but he runs it out wide nicely enough then to keep the car at the maximum speed that it can be, all the way to the exit line here then of the track as J Pinto heading towards the end of Sector 2. Has he found time in Sector 2 as well? It is purple in the middle sector as well, ladies and gentlemen, for J Pinto, as he's going to head round the final corner. Yes, Drew, I can see the messages now. I don't know why they weren't showing up the other day, by the way, but hello, mate, I can see you now. As J Pinto heading up towards the line then, ladies and gentlemen, can he get a decent time on the board? It is third place. Decent stuff then from J Pinto. It is second row of the grid in the early stages of qualifying. I do want to mention as well, just something about the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it's Christmas coming up. I've got the snowflakes on the screen. If you think they're too distracting and annoying, I will take them off. And I just thought it adds a bit of festive vibes to the stream. So, but if they're annoying, I'll take them off. But I thought they looked pretty nice. But J Pinto puts himself on the second row of the grid then, early stages at the moment. P1 and P2 on their outlaps. They're getting ready to go again. As Salguero down in 11. He is on a lap, I believe. But he's on non-EOS, so maybe he isn't on a lap. We'll find out. I'm not entirely sure. Apparently fastest first sector. I'm not entirely sure if this is true to life or not, though. Yellow flags in front of him, and there is a Mercedes off on the exit, ladies and gentlemen. The Mercedes then running it a bit deep there and waiting off the side of the track for Salguero to come through. As Ghost into turn 1, 76% battery, and he's going to be going full pelt this evening. 9th position for him without a time on the board just yet. The rear sliding out a little bit, but he kept him under control then, heading around the bank corner here in Zandvoort. Heading up towards the right-hand side. Fastest first sector, a 24.4 then for Ghost here today, this evening, into the right-hander. And taking the apex quite nicely, using all of the curbs that he can. The car just twitching a little bit into the right-hand side there, trying to get it back on track. At the moment, 60% battery left to use to help him gain that extra speed down the straights then. 45% now as he burns a little bit. DRS was activated just then. As into the final two corners then, ladies and gentlemen. Ghost all the way up towards the line. What has this man got in store for us today? Will it be a good time? P10 at the moment. Will he improve from there? P7, a 1:10.780, 4 thousandths of a seconds away from Arctic Ryan. In the chat, I swapped to my old account because I still have one month left on Gin's subscription because I want to watch his first stream back the day after. Oh, a Kindinos even quicker, everybody. 1:09.735, a 10th faster. Good to see him doing well. Nedzo Racing coming round. I'll finish that off in a sec, Drew. As Nedzo heading around the final corner then. Second place at the moment, but is he on for pole position this evening? A Kindinos, the fastest man out of everybody. As it up towards the line goes Nedzo. Can he snatch pole away? He will not, but he does improve by a 10th of a second. Off the track there goes driver as well. Back on now. But the day after he won our celebrity, he put up to £10. Jesus Christ. Fair enough though, Drew. He's getting his money in now, isn't he? How's the animation going for Winter Race? It's going good. I've not done a lot more on it in a minute. I was doing some last night, but obviously I've been a bit busy today. But I'm going to do some tonight, I think. I'll do some more. Somebody's off the track then, in towards the banked corner. It's the Judge, who has had a bit of a collision, quite a big collision actually, with the wall there, as you can see, and getting loads of grass all over his tyres as he brings himself back on. Oh, he put it up an extra £10, Drew. Jeez, man. How much is it? How much is it in total then? That's a lot. a lot of drivers, a few drivers in the pit lane, a lot of drivers out then on the track. Our reigning world champion, Dave the Scrub, is out there, and I've got a feeling, I remember him doing a bit better last race around. I'm not entirely sure if that's true. Let's see where he finished P6. It was good. I think his qualifying was even better than that. But can he have a good qualifying session today then, ladies and gents? We'll find that out in due course, as Dave is going to head up towards the line now then, and he's going to start a lap, I believe, unless he goes into the pit lane now. He does go in the pit lane, so we won't see a lap from him just yet. Flavour is on his way around, though, in the Red Bull for this evening's race, of course. If you're just joining us, the drivers get allocated different cars each race then, depending on their speed. Flavour, of course, getting given the Red Bull as he goes into ninth position with a 1 minute 11.033. One place off the back of the grid at the moment, but we're still waiting for Dave and Lee Dog to put times on the board. Don't count Lee Dog out, because we know what he's capable of, and he's got a good chance today. He really has. He won the previous round. He's coming into this with the most confidence out of everybody. You know, to know that he can do it. He won the previous round, and I think he took pole position as well. Either way, it was a very good evening for him last Thursday night, and I think he might just be able to do the same today, depending on how good his lap is going to be. He's, into the wall, just as we speak of him then. Lee Dog hits the barriers, ladies and gentlemen. Was not expecting that at all. But the Kick Sauber hits the barrier. Now getting himself out of that situation. No way that just as I spoke about him, he spins the car into the wall. Well, now he has to get back on his feet and get back on the top form that we know he can do. 5 minutes left of this qualifying session then here in the PGS Esports Realistic Tier. And Lee Dog 187 is making his way around. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to go again. He's still got time. I'm sure he is going to go again, given that he hasn't got a time even on the board just yet. As here he goes then, 100% battery. Will this be another go around? Unless he's got wing damage there, hasn't he? Yes, he did. My bad, I forgot about that. Front left is damaged. He goes into the pit lane, and we'll get a brand new wing on that Kick Sauber this evening. As he now is in the pit lane. We'll see him out again soon, hopefully. Ready Player F1 is on the track. 1 second down over his previous time, and the fuel light is on, so I believe he just got himself into P6. And that is all we're seeing right now. Dave the Scrub, though, is out there. 60% battery with a hot lap mode activated and giving it full beans then here in qualifying in the Aston Martin tonight. What has he got in store? Into the first sector, it's a 24-4 then. And it is all up to play for. Jeez, Drew, that is a lot of money. Jeez. Here's Dave the Scrub then, ladies and gentlemen. Round the right-hander and now down towards the line. The Aston Martin looking to get a good time on the board here in qualifying. His first time of the day. Dave the Scrub then gets into 5th position. And a very, very nice qualifying time from him. Just behind Arctic Ryan in this session. About a tenth separates them. Jay Pinto is just ahead of Arctic Ryan. Nedzo in 2. And Akindanos, the man on pole position still at the moment. As Lee Dog exiting and getting ready to go again. Spooky in the chat, I have default setup, it didn't apply my new one, he says, not good at all. as Lee Dog is out there, and I'm very much looking forward to see what this man can get on the board, ladies and gentlemen. I really, really am. It's going to be superb, and I think this man he's gonna be near the front row at least. We know what he's capable of. He is a rapidly quick driver, and the Kick Sauber is the slowest car on the Formula 1 grid at the moment. He is in the slowest car and still going quicker than everybody else. Can you imagine if they were on equal machinery? The gap would be just incredible. Here comes Lee Dog then to start a lap today, ladies and gents. Drew, I might do another test stream later, Drew. I'll send you some in a bit, maybe. Just message me to remind me, because I'll forget. But it's coming along. So that's good. I think it would look amazing at a night race. Yeah, I think it would as well. I'm hoping it's a night race for the Christmas race. I really am. But here comes Lee Dog then, everybody, into the first sector. Will he improve? Sorry, he won't improve. It's his first time around. But he does go purple in Sector 1 this evening. This is exactly what he's come here to do, to dominate today. And he is doing that already here in Zandvoort, ladies and gentlemen, putting all of the pressure on himself here today, leaving it last minute to try and get himself a good time on the board to allow himself, you know, at least front row of the grid. That is what he's hoping for today. And through the second sector, it isn't purple showing up through the middle sector at the moment. He's got the final sector to come. Can Lee Dog 187 get himself on pole position for a second week in a row? And maybe even on for a race win once more. Gunning down towards the line then, foot flat to the floor for Lee Dog. Will it be pole? It is pole position by a tenth of a second then over at Kindernos. Lee Dog on pole here in Zandvoort, ladies and gentlemen, for provisionally, of course, as the final few times come in then this evening. But Lee Dog did set the fastest time. Kindernos second place and out there at the moment. I think maybe going into the pit lane or going once more. We've got Luke Bailey over the line in 5th position. Arctic Ryan improved by 2 tenths in the first sector. Heading up towards sector 2 now. Is this going to be an improvement for him? He is up by nearly 3 tenths of a second then. Is Arctic Ryan making his way round towards the line then. Let's see what he can do. Arctic Ryan heading round all the way up towards the line then, ladies and gentlemen. Can he set a better time today? 6th position is what he has got in store right now. P4 he gets. Lovely to see. About 5 seconds left out of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. And your final times are going to be coming in now. We've got Lee Dog heading round and going into the pit lane now. Who have we got? Who's that coming up? It is Ghost, who's up by half a second. We're going to spectate him now then and see what he can do. Heading round the final corner, who's going to go flat to the floor then here in qualifying. No time remaining. This is the final times of the day. And the Racing Bull is going to head towards the line. P6 for Ghost with a 7/10 improvement. There's going to be the Williams towards the line now of Luke Bailey, who is down. He goes into the pit lane. There's a Ferrari of Jay Pinto with a 10th improvement heading towards the line. Can Jay Pinto improve? Jay Pinto on pole position. Here comes Nedso Racing. He can't do anything about that. Jay Pinto on pole position, ladies and gentlemen, here in Zandvoort. But Dave the Scrub is up on time. Can he now maybe snatch that pole? He's a bit off the pace compared to the guys at the front, but has he found enough time in the first and second sectors, even the final third? Dave over the line. It is only good enough for P6 for him. Arctic Ryan will be 5, but the shocker of the day, everybody, Jay Pinto is the man at the front and on pole position this evening. Great stuff. DJC in the chat. Hey, that's the snow I talked about. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I took your advice. Not going on a Monday because there's no point. I'll just get sent. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Probably no point anyway, is there, Drew? So here we go then, everybody. Jay Pinto on pole position this evening from Lee Dog behind. The gap in qualifying is 0.06 of a second. Marginal stuff. Third then is the Kindernos, joined by Nedso Racing on the second row of the grid. Arctic Ryan and David Scrubber occupy the third row. The fourth row, so I've just gone blank, is Ghost and Luke Bailey. Tiger B and Rally Pro F1 round off the 5th row of the grid, ladies and gentlemen. That is your top 10. We're just about to get into the main race. We'll be back in a few moments' time. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, we will be getting on with it in a few moments. Hopefully you're still sticking around in the chat then. 25 minutes into this stream and still a long way to go then. Of course, the main race coming up just next, everybody. Right, drivers are ready and up now then, everybody. So this is it. We're going to be getting ready to go now and expected on your screen in a moment. If I remember correctly, no formation lap in PGS Esports Realistic. We normally go straight into the action. I think that might be what's going to happen today. But let's be getting into it then, shall we? As you can just see on the right-hand side of your screen, the drivers lining up on the grid. And we'll see that full screen in a moment. With J Pinto on pole. Who expected that? Some speed from that man. Some speed then, everybody. To be on pole position, of course. All thought it was going to be Lee Dog. But it never ended up being. And now we're on the grid then, ladies and gentlemen, with the drivers here in Zandvoort. The 5th round of the season gets underway. It is lights out and away we go. J Pinto gets off the line from pole. Okay, but up the inside line. Lee Dog's already ahead then into turn 1. J Pinto drops back to 2nd place. Akindinos now is down in 3rd position. Nedzo Racing still in 4 as they all head through single file then heading through the right hand side. Here comes Flavor then on the judge. Is he going to get ahead now? He tries to get through past Salguero as well. They go side by side, level pegging out of the exit here, and through goes Flavor into 8th position. I think Dave the Scrub at the back of the grid, unfortunately, fell down the order at the race start then. And you can see there, visually representing it, it is 6 positions down from from the start of this race, my bad. As he now is down to 12th place, ladies and gentlemen. The race lead is already swapped around. Lee Dog gets ahead of J Pinto on the first lap of 36 today. A very short lap that it is here in Zandvoort, ladies and gentlemen, as J Pinto 2. Akindinos comes in 3 then. Nedzo Racing still in 4. Arctic Ryan in the same place as well in 5. It's going to be Ghost then following through in 6 as yellow flags behind. Somebody's in the grass. It is the judge then who's gone around now at the very back of the grid in P14 today. Not ideal for him. Let's go back to the front now, everybody. We might get some moves heading down the main straight here then. Maybe the DRS will be coming into effect this lap around. Zandvoort with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Already in the pit lane on the first lap then, as time penalties, not what he wants to be seeing then, unfortunately. Hamburg in the pits, J Pinto and Luke Bailey all going in then for the brand new tyres and brand new wing. That is most likely why they've all pitted this early on, as Lee Dog is your race leader then by only 0.3 of a second, and J Pinto's keeping a good distance to him, a good gap, and keeping himself well within range of a fight here today then, ladies and gents. He is not out of this yet. Akindinos in 3rd then, still only 0.4 of a second the gap, very close indeed. Not too much in that at the moment then, with 34 laps left in this Grand Prix. And a very long distance to go. A long stretch of racing that we have then here at Zandvoort by the seaside, of course, as Arctic Ryan running it a bit wide onto the curb. You can see sparks just then flying out of the back of Nedzo's car as here comes Arctic Ryan for a move up towards turn 1. Will he get round the outside line for a move today? They do go side by side for a moment, but up the inside, Nedzo has the edge. Now Arctic Ryan is going to try and slip through with the extra speed, tapping the man behind. Dave the Scrub retires, everybody, as Nedzo Racing nearly spins around. He loses countless positions today. He's down to P6. But we've lost Dave the Scrub then, the championship, the previous champion, the man that's won a lot here in PGS, out of today's race. It is such a shame. Well, you know, he is a very good driver, but just today clearly hasn't gone the way he wanted it to go. If you are still in the chat then, ladies and gentlemen, give us a race prediction. Who do you think is going to be the race winner of today? It's looking very strongly in the favour of Lee Dog. He is gaining that gap then to Jay Pinto slightly. Half a second is it now. Kindinos, though, is gaining a bit closer. He was 3/10 in at the minute, and then Arctic Ryan, he's dropped back by 2.4. So the grid is starting to spread out slowly. Oh, battle's going on here, but it is a back marker of the judge, I think, who is within the pack here at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Is it the judge, I think? Yes, it is. Trying to get through here then. They're going ghosted within each other as Lee Dog ahead by 0.3 of a second. Still the gap is not too much here. Luke Bailey and Embulk change around. Luke Bailey manages to get into 11. Somebody's gone around. It is Arctic Ryan who has spun the rears then and has got himself down to 8th place now, everybody. Arctic Ryan losing positions in this race as he's now back on. Not entirely sure what happened with him there. We did unfortunately miss that one. But these guys at the front are staying consistently close within each other. I'm actually looking forward to see what happens in terms of tyres, you know, when the sets start to go off. Lee Dog then is the man with an advantage right now. He's clearly got the speed over the guys behind, and he's on the hard compound tyres as well. So it's going well for Lee Dog right now. The least grip out of the guys behind him, and he's still managing to stay ahead like this. But here he is then, Lee Dog in front. Jay Pinto is the man behind, and they're getting ever closer, heading through these right-hand turns now. And Jay Pinto now did dip within 1/10 of a second there, which is what we like to see. Getting ever closer. Now he drops back by 0.4, and this is the thing, you know, middle sector, Jay Pinto close, and then Lee Dog just runs away with it, you know, in the final third. Clearly the final sector for Lee Dog is where it's at for him. Somebody's gone around, and it is Luke Bailey now at the back of the grid. This man normally can do pretty well, but it has not gone his way today, ladies and gentlemen, as he is down into 12th position in this Grand Prix. That 5 of 36 then. Jay Pinto trying to get the slipstream here on Lee Dog up towards turn 1. He runs it out wide then for the move. He does try and, outbrake him a bit there, but he's just a bit too far behind to do that. And Lee Dog is still the man in front here right now. Kindinos, 0.6 of a second the gap. They're still battling hard. Ghost and Neto racing now. Come out in 4 and 5, giving it a good go. Here comes Neto trying to get himself round the outside line into the bank turn. He is through into 4, and Ghost has to wait that one behind. He's on a default setup tonight, trying to give himself, the best chance of winning in the worst case scenario that he's in, as Ready Player F1 now is the next opponent to overtake him. And is he going to be able to do that? Ghost isn't looking as strong as you'd expect today, because Ready Player F1 already on the rears of him, and clearly making him a bit nervous here then, as he's going to look for the outside line, heading through the left-hander. Now he's going to switch it up to the inside, leaves a massive gap open. Here comes Ready Player F1 on a move on Ghost. They exit the corner side by side, just about with an advantage is Ghost. Now it's going to be Ready Player F1 side by side with him. A bit of contact on the wheels. Wheel banging made. The rear spinning out for Ghost. That was Ready Player F1's chance of getting through, but he didn't take it, unfortunately. Arctic Ryan goes back into 7th position now. He's making those moves back up and back on the charge today. He has the speed, and now he has the speed over Ready Player F1. This could be a double overtake for him. He has to dodge out of the way of that man. They go 3 abreast down the straight as behind. Somebody goes around. Flavour into the wall. 3 abreast into turn 1. Arctic Ryan with the double overtake into the first corner. Will he be able to snatch this one today? He does not. He comes out between them. Arctic Ryan in 6th. Ahead of that is Ready Player F1. Finally getting the move done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Ghost is behind that then. And Salguero follows him through the 7th lap of 36, and the battles are continuing. Real good stuff into the first corner then. The drivers are still continuing on with this battle. Lee Dog ahead with 0.4 of a second. Behind that, is Luke Bailey and Tiger B. Luke Bailey in P11, then Tiger B in P12. Tiger X in the pit lane. Luke does get ahead there, unfortunately, for Tiger B, who exits in P12 on lap 7 of 36. A long way to go left of this Grand Prix tonight. Lap 18 will probably be your half race distance then, as Lee Dog is still your race leader. J Pinto trying to gain on him. He is using the DRS then to close, and still within 0.2 of a second, keeping a good gap at the moment. Behind that is Akindinos, losing his rear slightly. Nedzo Racing's in 4, then comes Arctic Ryan 5, and Ready Player F1 lines up in 6. Ghost now with a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, ladies and gentlemen. Not what he wants to be seeing. Salguero running in 7th position. Ghost now with new tyres on that car, getting them on, and in 8th right now, not losing any more positions in that 8th position. Flavors in 9, Mbulk 10, 11 Luke Bailey, 12 Tiger B, 13 is the judge. Dave the Scrub, of course, the one man in this race tonight to retire. But a phenomenal lead at the moment for Lee Dog. 0.7 of a second, keeping it nice and neat. And, you know, all of the drivers in the top 3 are keeping it mega consistent. Akindinos has dropped underneath that 1 second gap now. And to tell you the truth, now he's out of that, he will start to struggle. This is it. He will slip away. And now it's J Pinto with Lee Dog. The gap is 0.8 of a second. The DRS is already activated. Then coming out of the bank turn, he will gain a little bit down in towards the first corner. But that is just a visual representation of how lap by lap Lee Dog is getting ahead even more marginally, as you know, the gap came down to 0.4 of a second now. I think it came down to like 0.2 of a second the previous lap, so it's, you know, getting slower. There's Arctic Ryan now in the pit lane. The mechanics come out just in time to get his tyres changed. We watch from above as he gets on the medium compound of tyres, and the front wing gets put on too and replaced. As we are a quarter into this Grand Prix now then, with Arctic Ryan, your race leader, my bad, sorry, I'm not even talking about. Arctic Ryan in 8th position, Luke Bailey and Mbulk change around positions now. Luke goes into 10 and does get ahead of that one then. As the battle still continuing up at the front, we head round to begin the 10th lap of the Grand Prix tonight then, with Lee Dog still your race leader, and that is exactly what I talked about. The gap now, it's been broken, and it's a 1.6 second gap. Lee Dog is finally pulling away. These mediums clearly just haven't got the grip that they did before, and of course the hards, you know, Lee Dog won't really be feeling much different. They're kind of very consistent with the hards, aren't they? And you know, he'll be feeling okay at the minute. The grid very spaced out then, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment. It really is. Not really any battles close to happening just yet. We're going to keep an eye on this one. Ghost and Arctic Ryan are 0.6 of a second between them, which is definitely a worthy overtaking zone. But we'll have to see if that is actually going to work for him. Mbulk then is in the pit lane tonight, getting on some new hard compound tyres after being on the soft tyres, I believe, since the... I don't know actually, did he mean to go on the softs? I'm not too sure. But either way, he's changed them out now for a brand new set of hards. Because in the pit lane as well is J Pinto and Akindinos. So them mediums dropping off for them now. 10 laps on them. They get them sorted out. They will be on the hard compound tyres as they exit them. Brand new hards, and they lose 2 positions to drivers down the straight. Now 3 positions as they come out in 5 and 6 then, ladies and gentlemen. That was looking close there, but unfortunately not as close as it looks. The back markers are all there trying to get through and race. Nedzo Racing at the moment. Thank God for the ghosting, because this would cause a bit of carnage, wouldn't it? over the line then for Lee Dog. Starts the 12th lap of the Grand Prix. Now a third into the race, if we're going with the fractions. But Lee Dog is the man in front, and no visible battles right now. Apart from this one, the gap is still pretty close, 4 tenths, which is quite good actually, because the DRS will get activated soon. Salguero with a 10-second time penalty, as we'll now just about see the rear wing open up, and now we're going to head down the main straight with Ghost with a 6/10 of a second gap to the man in front. This is going to help him gain quite a bit. Well, I thought it would actually, but it really didn't. Salguero in the pit lane now, coming out in 8th place. Salguero makes an exit then, 8th position for him. At the minute, that was looking close. It really keeps fooling me. I keep thinking there's a good battle going on here, but it's just the back markers giving it a good go. Pit lane for Luke Bailey then. Interesting stuff. He goes onto the medium compound tyres now. Brand new wing as well, so he must have broken that again. But he is out once more then, ladies and gentlemen, in this race. If you are in the chat still, ladies and gentlemen, give us a race prediction. Which way do you think this is going to go? Let me know in the chat this evening if you think we're going to get a Lee Dog win, or is it going to be a bit of a shocker one? We shall find out. Into the wall goes Ready Player F1, everybody, spinning the rears. And we caught that one today into the barrier. He brings himself back on and loses a position there into 5th. Such a shame then. He was running really well. Ready Player F1, you know, the 12 lap old hards. He'll have to go into the pit lane as well soon, and they'll be even more cooked now after that, unfortunately, which is it's a big shame. It really is. Cannot believe that. Such an unfortunate spin then, as Lee Dog being your race leader and completely dominating today. We know what this man is capable of, and you know, was we ever in doubt? We know he's going to go for that win again today, and he's got a 12-second advantage to the guys behind. Of course, he is a pit stop down at the moment. We'll have to go into the pit lane. Oh, pit lane 4, Ready Player F1 now. He's finally done it. Brand new tyres. We know he went around earlier. So now he will have got that sorted out, which is great to see. I'm very glad to see that actually. He now exits. These guys are quite close, aren't they? Ghost and Arctic Ryan, only 7/10 of a second here. Let's keep on with... Oh, actually, hang on. This is a bit close as well. In the pit lane is Nedzo then, as here comes a Kindinos on the backside of Jay Pinto. This is a battle we've been waiting to see, and it will happen soon then, ladies and gentlemen. I am very much looking forward to seeing this. Which way will this battle end up going tonight then? There's a Kindinos trying to keep himself afloat, 6/10 of a second behind the man in front. That 15 of 36, send the laps ticking by slowly but surely. That'll start lap 16 now, as in the pit lane goes Lee Dog. This is the pit stop we have been waiting for, everybody. finally into the pit lane for our man Lee Dog, and he's going to be getting on the brand new tyres this evening. Here's Lee Dog in the pit lane then, with the medium compound. Now, of course, in Formula 1, you have to, of course, put on a brand new set of tyres in order to not get disqualified and stay within the rules. So, as it stands, everybody, there's 2 drivers with time penalties today, and time penalties for them are looking pretty hefty then. 10 seconds apiece for our drivers with penalties. That is Salguero and Ghost, and that is going to really throw a spanner in the works for their race. 10-second time penalty is not a small one indeed, and they will not be happy with that at all. But we'll see. We will see how that ends up going then, everybody. And, see if that really plays a big part in their race. Lee Dog still ahead by 2.2 seconds after coming out of the pit lane and still in front. It has worked in his favour today. It really has. The pit stops have and the strategies worked in his favour. It's all going right at the moment. But the grid very spread out at the moment. It really is. More spread out than usual. But we're going to stay on the watch then for the closest battle that we're going to get soon. I'm hoping we get one very soon. But we'll find out. I mean, not a big gap here between J Pinto and Lee Dog, 3.3. Akindinos is behind that by 1.7. As Lee Dog now punching in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well, cementing himself as one of the greats here today then. He really, really is. 18 laps in of a 36-lap race. We have reached that half-race distance here today then, ladies and gentlemen. Now one more half to go of this race this evening, and it's Lee Dog, your race leader. J Pinto is behind in second place. Akindinos in third. He's got a back marker trailing him, but no visible moves or anything right now. Everybody's very much spread out in this race. Very much spread out, and unfortunately not really seeing much. But it'd be very nice for Lee Dog to go 2 for 2 tonight, of course. I think last week was his first win this season, but I am going to definitely check on that just to make sure I'm right. So last week was Kota, where he did take the win by a lot, 13 seconds then. The round before that, we went to Las Vegas for the third round, where he came third place, so that was not a win in Las Vegas. The week before that, we went to China, and he did win the Chinese Grand Prix, actually. So this will be his third win of the season, I believe, as Azerbaijan was the first round. So yes, Lee Dog's third win of the season. Lap 19 of 36. This is getting close here. Look at this then. Salguero with a 3/10 gap then to Arctic Ryan in front. Finally, something is starting to occur then, and the man with a 10-second time penalty has got, a big cloud over his head at the moment. He wants to have a nice race, but that 10-second will not be good for him if he gets ahead of Arctic Ryan. That will be stripped away from him. At the moment, it isn't going to do anything because Flavor's 19 seconds behind. But Salguero, of course, no planned pit stops anymore in this race, so he's going to have to stick with that penalty. Down into the first corner, he has 0.4 of a second a gap to Arctic Ryan at this moment in time, as he's trying to keep his car nice and neat on the track today. Oh, is that somebody round? Ready Player F1 goes round again. He's round into the barrier. Brand new wing he will need then as he smashes it again in this race, ladies and gentlemen. Ready Player F1 exiting the track onto the pit lane now. Next in the pit lane is Flavor. And Tiger B then in 9. He's ahead. Oh, hang on a minute. Somebody gone round. Has Lee-Dog gone around? Lee-Dog spins the car, everybody. Lee-Dog bins it down the straight. I saw his icon on the map go stationary as he exited the final corner and now gets overtaken by Jay Pinto and Akindinos. Now this is where the fight is on. The race leader, who was leading by a little margin, now gets it all stripped away and worse. Jay Pinto is ahead then, ladies and gentlemen, by about 6 seconds, of a gap. Lee-Dog's got some work to do now. He has got some work to do, and, not within the DRS at the moment. Which way is this going to go? Of course, Lee-Dog's on the medium compound. In front of him, it is the drivers on the hards. Surely Lee-Dog's got another planned pit stop then, ladies and gents. Surely on these mediums, they cannot go to the end, can they? We'll find out, though, if he can do that. But Lee-Dog then is into second place. Akindinos behind. Lee-Dog already making that move up, which is good for him. And now he's got 5 seconds of a gap to Jay Pinto in front, and he is seeming to gain on that quite fast. He really is, as he's gaining and gaining then, ladies and gentlemen. 5 seconds is the gap. It went down to 4.9, then it's gone back up again now. This is getting close. This is getting very close. Heading down the straight then, he's took out a bit of a chunk out of this time then, everybody. The gap now, 4.4, and gaining as much as possible. The 23rd lap of the Grand Prix now that we are on, and it is starting to go pretty quick. 13 more times around the track, and we are over with this race. Realistically, not a long time left. Ladies and gentlemen, really isn't a lot of time left. But the drivers doing what they can, especially Lee-Dog, to try and claw back what was his earlier on. in the pit lane, I believe. Somebody, is that somebody round actually? Never mind, no, it's Luke Bailey in the pit lane today then, ladies and gents. He's exiting the pit lane. Jay Pinto with a 10-second time penalty as he speeds in the pit lane and goes in for another now set of hard compound tyres. Lee Dog continues on. He gains that lead back now after getting back through. This is it. Now the race is definitely on for him. The race is completely on for him to try and stay ahead today. Ahead gets Salguero then over Akindanos, as Akindanos now exiting the pit lane in 5th position, but he isn't really going to have to worry too much at the moment because the guy in front of him has got a time penalty, quite a hefty one as well. Great race so far from the drivers then, everybody. Lap 24 of 25 now of 36. Luke Bailey and Mbulk, they swap positions because coming out of the pit lane is Mr. Mbulk now. Oh, really spinning out there for Mbulk. He's now got the back marker on the back side of him. In the pit lane now for Tiger B. Ready Player F1's right on the back side of Flavor now then. Now up at the front, Lee Dog and Jay Pinto, they change around. Lee Dog's in the pit lane now, everybody. Exciting stuff from the drivers as Akindanos gets through to 3rd place. Behind that is Lee Dog in 4, 5 is Salguero getting a change on the tyres. And they're waiting to serve that 10-second penalty. Now they can start working on the tyres, getting them done. Now Arctic Ryan also gets ahead of Salguero, losing time, of course, as he does in the pit lane because of that 10-second time penalty that he had, and it really is not working in his favour today. But he comes out in 7, and now he can build from here. We'll see what he can do, everybody. Lee Dog and Akindanos swap around, everybody. Lee Dog goes into 3rd. Great overtake from him. Well, if Akindanos try and get through then, he's currently sat in 4th position and gaining on Lee Dog at the moment. The gap is 9. Is he going to gain even more? He did just get to 8 tenths. Hasn't really switched around much from that. Unfortunately, looked like he was going off the track there. Wow. Oh, is that a virtual safety car? VSC deployed, everybody. VSC is out. Will we get any drivers making pit stops? The judge, I think, went around. He did. Lap 28 of 36 then. VSC deployed as you know. As DRS is enabled. Race control announced as Nedzo Racing is the man in front. Jay Pinto in second place behind. At the moment, the judge in the pit lane then, he's going to be getting on some brand new tyres. And they are going to be the mediums when they start working on the car. Of course, he's got a 10-second penalty to serve as he goes in now, gets the tyres changed, and will exit as soon as possible. Oh, the judge's rears snapping out massively there for him in the Williams car today, as he gets himself round the hairpin, and the rears even more slidey with 8 laps to go in this Grand Prix. The lap times are really coming down now, and we are soon to end this one off this evening. Nedzo Racing being your race leader. How has it come to this then? It completely switched around today, but the fastest final sector for Lee Dog means he is slightly catching up on the guys in front. He's got 3.3 to Jay Pinto, but then he'll have 2.7 to break and get through into the next position, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the judge goes around everybody, hits the wall. At the same time, Ready Player F1 gets a 10-second penalty. But hitting the barrier for the judge then, I'm surprised didn't bring out a safety car there, or at least a VSC. He was completely sideways then on the hairpin corner. Six more laps remaining then. Nedzo Racing ahead. This is where the battle begins. The judge with a 10-second penalty. But we forget about that. He's down at the back of the grid now in the pit lane, retiring from the session. All eyes then to the important Lee Dog with a 2.4 second gap to Jay Pinto up in front, who's now making an overtake on Nedzo Racing. And these guys scrapping it out is not going to help their cause of staying ahead of Lee Dog. Look at how much he's gaining now. 1.9 seconds is that gap. 1.7 coming down now every corner that he goes around. Look at this, Lee Dog closing in, then this will be the battle for the race lead soon. Jay Pinto hasn't got a chance of taking it today with a 10-second time penalty. He's going to really struggle to gain, keep any positions here. He'll be out of the podium places with a penalty like that at the moment, as he is ahead right now though and will win the race on track if it continues like this. Nedzo Racing behind at the minute. The man who's looking like he would win it, but Lee Dog now is looking like a good competition as he's gaining on the man in front to get himself into second place when he can. heading all the way down then in towards the first corner. 4 laps remaining for Lee Dog to gain his 3rd race win of the season. He goes up the inside here to try and block Nedzo off, to try and mislead him through the corner and then let Lee Dog fly through. He takes the outside line and Lee now is into 2nd place. He's now going to have to gain on the guys in front. Guys, meaning Jay Pinto, who is up at the front, ladies and gentlemen, with a 1.1 second gap. Currently, Lee Dog is going to be your race winner because of the time penalty. Jay Pinto does hold. Here comes Lee Dog then, down towards turn 1. He's not within that 1 second now, but he was earlier on to get himself into that DRS. He managed to get within 0.8 of a second then of Jay Pinto in front, and he's got 4 laps, including this one, to be your race winner on the track. He already knows he's got it at the moment, but he's gaining quite a lot on the man in front. Jay Pinto's on the hard compound tyres, and he's really keeping it well, to be fair. We know, of course, that man started on pole. He does have some speed. He really, really does. But today, it is just not looking his day with the fast speeds of Lee Dog. Nobody can compete with. Getting close now to Jay Pinto. Massively close behind him now. We are going to head all the way around, ladies and gentlemen, toward the main straight again for the 34th time this evening. Jay Pinto is the leader, and he's got 0.4 of a second now to Lee Dog. Remember, last lap around was 1 second. 0.6 have been taken out of him in the 14 corners we have here today, I believe that it is. Here comes Lee Dog heading up towards the race leader and getting ever closer. Now the gap just dipped into the 0.3. The Kick Sauber is on a roll then here today. There's the rears sliding out for Lee Dog, just trying to keep his car on the track. He's 0.6 of a second behind the race leader. You see how much he gained on him there after braking later. He did sacrifice a good line out of the exit there, though, unfortunately, but he still kept within reach. He broke later, and that paid off today. Now the gap's 0.4. He's definitely within that gap at the moment to stay in front. Oh, it's getting close. We know Lee Dog will win this because of the penalties, but we just don't know. Will he be able to win it on track? Is the question that we're being asked. Will he be able to win it on track? That is the question. The penultimate lap of the Grand Prix is now, ladies and gentlemen. It has begun. Lee Dog just behind Jay Pinto here. Our man in the Kick Sauber, who's had a great race today, completely flawless that we've seen of him. Really, really has been flawless. Oh, getting closer now. Lee Dog in 2nd position. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The final lap battle. The rears fly out for Jay Pinto. As here comes Lee Dog then, who's going to come round and get into that 11th position, ladies and gentlemen. That P1, my bad, 11th position. I don't know what I'm talking about. That P1. Jay Pinto's going to try and fight him again round the outside line. He knows he won't win it, but he still wants that on-track winning. can he do it? He cannot. Lee Dog is the man in front then, ladies and gentlemen. And on the final lap of the race, it's going to come down to one man at the moment of Lee Dog 187, who did not take pole. Jay Pinto did take pole. It was Jay Pinto's qualifying session all the way along. At the very end, snatching it away. And who was expecting that? But unfortunately, the race has just come down to it and not really going to end up going his way tonight. It won't even be a podium finish for him. It's going to be P4, unfortunately, with the way it is going. A 10-second time penalty is huge here in Formula One, and he will lose a lot of time doing so, dropping all the way down to 4th position today. But Lee Dog up at the front then, rounding off those final few corners in the last sector here in Zandvoort, ladies and gentlemen. The sparks flying high. Lee Dog round the final corner as somebody goes round down the straight, round the final corner. Lee Dog heads down towards the line then. He will cross the line to win the Dutch Grand Prix for the 5th round of the season, and he goes 3 for 3 here in PGS Esports Realistic in this brand new season. Nedzo Racing to 2nd place, Akindinos then gets 3rd, and Jay Pinto drops out of the podium places down in 4th. Arctic Ryan will cross the line in 5th, but unfortunately will drop down to P6. Salguero will gain that position because of the time penalty. Arctic Ryan holds. As the remaining drivers finish their laps, then head towards the line. Arctic Ryan will cross it now in P5 as Salguero will take that and snatch it away. Snatch P6 away. Arctic Ryan takes 6 now. Salguero 5. Flavor will take 7. And Luke Bailey will round the race off in 8th. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Your finishing results on your screen. Race winner Lee Dog, and we go to the main finishing results. Lee Dog then wins this race tonight. Wolf in the chat, it's good to see you, mate. Better late than never. Nedzo Racing P2, Akindinos 3, G Pinto 4, Salguero 5, Arctic Ryan 6, 7th position is Flavor, 8 is Luke Bailey, 9 Tiger B, and 10 is Ghost on that standard setup that he had today, unfortunately. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I didn't race. No worries, Wolfie. I didn't realise. Sorry, mate. Dave DNF, of course, tonight. Such a shame. But thank you very much for everybody joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back same time next week, same day. Have a good evening, and I'll speak to you all next week. See you later, and good night.